Hi, I am Dhanendran. In this video, we will focusing on dimensional stability of concrete. So, nature of shrinkage and creep, types of shrinkage and creep, and concrete is subjected to various uneven thermal loads and moisture movement. How to structure a deviation of the shape. So, these are in this video discussed. This video used for civil engineering students. Okay, let's start my presentation. This is my presentation of dimensional stability of concrete. So shrinkage and creep are both strains which occur over a long period of time and both involve the movement of water. Shrinkage occurs when water is lost to the outside or to the environment, or it is mainly occur consumed by the hydration reaction. Hydration means the exothermic reaction between cement and water. Creep occurs when the water is forced to move by stress. Water in the capillaries is forced to move when we apply a constant stress. So both shrinkage and creep not completely recoverable when the concrete is rewetted in shrinkage and when the load is removed in creep. And both these are important because we do not want the dimension of concrete structure to change during service due to drying or the applied load. This could lead to cracking and excessive deformation. For example, consolidation of a structure on soil happens when water starts dissipating due to the sustained loading of the structure. It is exactly what is happening in this case. Why it is very important to consider the shrinkage and creep behavior, especially when we talk about large structures where the absolute deformation due to this strain could be very large in some of the structural elements. Okay, move on. Section 1, Nature of creep and shrinkage. What is creep and why does creep occur? So the creep or deformation due to sustained loading. So the creep of concrete varies with age. At early ages, the lot of creep occur in concrete. Normally, concrete are three-phase system: aggregate, cement paste, and ITZ. Aggregate in the concrete are not sustainable to creep. Only the paste undergoes deformation upon sustained loading due to its high porosity, and the water held within that slowly gets driven out under the sustained load. So creep is two types. One is basic creep, another one is drying creep. Basic creep strain that occurs without any loss of moisture to the environment. So it is a internal rearrangement of hydrated cement paste, especially layered product of like CSH gel. Okay, so and drying creep. So this creep strain that occur here are attributed to the effect of drying. Okay, the expulsion of water. Okay, see the image. The bridge is subjected to creep strain. So the deflection of the bridge due to the creep. Shrinkage and creep, we have to see what are the different ways that it can occur and how it occurs. In this diagram, we have on the y-axis the axial strain in on element, that is either drying or subjected to axial stress. In x-axis, we have time in days. Suppose we cure the concrete elements amount of time, certain amount of time, and then allow it to dry. We have the curve corresponding to free shrinkage. Okay, there is no load applied. So after some time, say if we re-wet or resaturate the concrete, then it will swell again. It will absorb water and swell, but it does not go back zero or initial stage. Okay, it partial recovery but not complete. Okay, so now if we take a concrete not allowed to dry, but we load it such that we apply a sudden load and keep the load will be constant. Okay, then there will be a sudden increasing in strain. See that, which is instantaneous strain proportional to the Young's modulus, and then what will be find the strain does not remain constant, so but keeps increasing slightly. So this is called as basic creep. Okay, so when we remove the load, some part will be recovered in addition to the instantaneous part, and this recovery is slow but will not reach the initial position. Okay, if we both creep and shrinkage occurring, then we will find the absorbed total strain, which one is higher. Okay, so this is would be sum of basic creep and free shrinkage. So if we remove the load or resaturate the specimen, we have on elastic recovery, so creep recovery, but again we do not go back to zero. Okay, next move on section 2, shrinkage. Normally, fresh concrete is a fluid mixture that consists of water and cementitious material, sand, and a coarse aggregate. The space between the particles of fresh concrete is filled with water, which gradually evaporates and the concrete tends to shrink. Okay, so the moist concrete that dries out will shrink. So while dry concrete that becomes moist will expand. So in the loss of water from concrete causes mainly two types of shrinkage. One is plastic shrinkage, another one is drying shrinkage. Okay, see the images, the cracking due to plastic shrinkage and settlement of the plastic shrinkage. Okay, so the plastic cracks in concrete can occur within few minutes or hours of concrete placing and finishing. So there are too many types of plastic cracks. So see the plastic settlement cracks in concrete. So in fresh concrete, when placed in deep formwork such as columns or walls, has a tendency to settle. So if the settlement is restrained due to obstruction like steel bars and large aggregates, it results in the formation of horizontal cracks, and this subsidence due to the reduction in volume is termed as plastic settlement cracks. Okay, so which place occur these types of cracks? See example, if you subbase or other material against which concrete is being placed is very absorbent like a dry soil, in that case plastic settlement crack is likely occur to. And then what are the ways to reduce the plastic shrinkage? So the plastic shrinkage reduced by rate of evaporation of water. So by achieved by decreasing the temperature of the concrete and by placing a concrete rapidly and curing adequately. So on the reduction of the cement content is very important by optimizing the paste volume and using supplementary cementitious materials, and another one important use of shrinkage reducing admixtures and use of fibers. See the image, the fibers are used, the plastic shrinkage will be decreased in concrete. It is used in fibers, it is not used in fibers. So compared to this one, this cracks will be reduced. Okay, and then thermal shrinkage. So thermal shrinkage happens when there is a decrease in temperature, especially after the setting. Okay, and then carbonation shrinkage. So the carbonation shrinkage is mainly because of the reaction of the cement paste with the carbon dioxide in the presence of moisture. Okay, and autogeneous shrinkage. Autogeneous shrinkage is mainly because of the chemical shrinkage and the self desiccation, which could happen in the first few weeks from days of weeks. Okay, mainly the autogeneous shrinkage, when chemical shrinkage means the volume of the shrinkage, the reaction between the cement and water, and self desiccation means water is removed from capillary pores due to the hydration of cement. So in autogeneous shrinkage, restrained by the aggregate and the already hydrated cement. Consequently, it is an order of magnitude less than that cement paste. Okay, so autogeneous shrinkage increases, the cement content increase and the fineness of cement, concrete temperature also increase. So this typically the reasons for increase in autogeneous shrinkage, you can see the picture of the graph, the bottom you can normal strength concrete and high strength concrete. In the normal strength concrete, the dark gray region, which is compared to the, which is very less compared to the dark gray region in bottom of high strength concrete. The reason for this region will be lower. High strength concrete used in low water cement ratio. Mostly autogeneous shrinkage occur very high using low cement water content ratio. Okay, now move on section 3, testing shrinkage and creep in hardened concrete. So how do we get all these properties? We have to do test and a long period of time, and this gives the scheme of the different tests that can be conducted on concrete to get shrinkage and creep behavior. So first of all, look at autogeneous shrinkage. Okay, so we have take a completely sealed specimen. See this image, completely sealed specimen and monitor. So what the strains, how the strain evolved. So we have plot now strain in y-axis and age in x-axis. Okay, so suppose we have a cured specimen with only the sides are exposed. See the image. So the drying is occurring. After curing, you will see the there is a drying shrinkage occurring. So which is in addition to the autogeneous shrinkage. Okay, this is a total shrinkage. This would be autogeneous shrinkage and drying shrinkage. So this we would do by measuring strains on specimen where after curing the sites are exposed to dry environment and we allow the concrete to dry. Okay. So in the similar specimen under load, we can get the basic creep and drying creep. Okay. In case of basic creep, what do? So we allow the specimen to cure and then suddenly apply a session load and keep the load constant. So we will have on instantaneous strain. Okay. Elastic strain and then there is a creep strain. So in the sealed specimen, this strain which occurs in addition to the autogeneous shrinkage, the sum of the instantaneous strain and the creep strain. In a specimen that is drying and also subjected to load, we will have a curve given by this where we have an instantaneous strain and a higher creep strain. So now this creep strain is sum of basic creep as well as drying creep. Okay, so the curve now addition to this shrinkage will show the instantaneous strain plus basic creep plus dry creep. So very complex. So but once you look at the sometime understand different mechanisms all put together which can occur in concrete and how through testing over the long period of time. So usually this test lasts for 6 months or 1 year. Okay. So it is a different aspects of long-term behavior of concrete. Okay. Next, see the section 4, uneven thermal loads. So the temperature difference within the concrete structure results in differential volume changes. Okay. So you can see the image. It is newly cast restrained concretes. The both side are restrained. So what will happen? Crack is formed when restrained drying shrinkage happens. Okay. So this you can see the crack forming at right almost at the center. Okay, so on the right side image you can once a crack is formed, so if there is a rise in temperature, the crack width will be decreases. Okay, see compared to this. Okay, the crack width will be decreases. So comparing to the second step, here the third case you have the reduction in the crack width because of the concrete going to expand. Okay, see this. So what will happen if there is a reduction in the temperature? The same concrete will now go outward, strings. So both the left and right side concrete are going to shrink and then going to the open to the crack. Okay, so see the another example depending on the position of the sun. So if the sun is left side of you have, so the position of the cooling tower will be experienced at a higher temperature than this position. So this left side going to expand and that expansion will induce the change in the shape. So in the expansion of the left side will induce the change in shape. That means in the entire cooling tower, so slightly deviate from the circular shape to so elliptical shape. Okay, so otherwise you may also see if the sun moves other side, so if the right side like again the expansion will the right side of the cooling tower. So this essentially what is showing all the position of the cooling tower would experience change in the thermal loads will induce the movements and might lead to cracking. Okay. Okay, next move on number 5, curling of concrete slab on grade. So see the image. Curling is common problem on slabs cast on subgrade. So curling is caused by uneven moisture and temperature gradients across the thickness of the slab. So curling is increased as drying shrinkage progresses. Okay, see the image. The slab surfaces are usually dry on top where they are exposed to air, and moist on the bottom where they are exposed to soil. So the drier surface has to tendency to contract the length relative to the moist bottom surface. The contraction of the top surface can only be relieved by the slab called upward curling. And the temperature gradients across the slab can create some problems as moisture gradients. So in the typical situation, the heating of the slab top surface causing a higher temperature on this surface. Okay, the top surface then has a tendency to grow in length relative to bottom surface. Stress relief occurs when the slab curl downward. It is called downward curling. Okay, see the image upward curling. So clearly explained, see the image of clay soil subjected to curling stress in uneven moisture and temperature. Okay, okay, this is end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.